hot as well. Looks like Cape Town will have another very hot day. The temperatures there in the high 20s. And further east, here it will be a little bit warmer than that, Durban, up at around 30. Further north, though, that's where the wet weather is. That's through parts of Madagascar, stretching across into Mozambique and all the way across into Angola. Heavy downpours there. I think the heaviest showers are likely to be around the coast of Mozambique. As we head up towards India, it's in the far north we've got the wettest weather at the moment. That's stretching through parts of Pakistan, through Afghanistan and then into the northern parts of India. Heavy downpours here and an awful lot of snow as well. And we're expecting more wintry weather as we head through Wednesday and Thursday. Now, some of that cloud has been drifting across us here in Doha, but it is a little fresher now. We'll get to around 25 for Wednesday.
It is in the details, a look, a connection, the moments that reveal the truth. Award-winning documentaries from critically acclaimed filmmakers. Witness documentaries to open your eyes. At this time on AlJazeera.
As protests, violence, and the call for political reform spreads across the Arab world, AlJazeera's in-depth coverage of events on the ground brings you the news as it breaks. Ongoing coverage of the Libya uprising on AlJazeera.
Keeping up the fight, anti-government protesters press on with their efforts to oust the Libyan leader, Colonel Gaddafi. Welcome to Al Jazeera, 1600 GMT. David Foster with you in Doha. Also in this program, Hillary Clinton says the United States is considering imposing no-fly zones over Libya. Calls for a strategic US policy on the Middle East. Tunisia's leading opposition figure quits the interim unity government, the third minister to go in one day. And growing discontent in Kyrgyzstan as the government there struggles to get a grip on the economy. Hello there. World leaders stepping up their rhetoric against the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi to step down. They're putting increasing political and economic pressure on Gaddafi to try to force him out. Meanwhile, the situation on the ground remains very volatile. In the eastern city of Benghazi, protesters say they'll keep up their fight. Residents of Nalut, that's in western Libya, say there are paramilitary forces loyal to the leader, Muammar Gaddafi, about 10 kilometers away from that city. The town of Misrata is also under opposition control, but there have been reports of fresh battles with government forces there. And a wave of government attacks were repelled in the towns of AlJazeera and Az-Zawiya. Lawrence Lee has the details.
Gaddafi routinely accuses the media of bias, but the most dispassionate analysis must suggest things really aren't going very well for him. This is the town of Nalut in western Libya, and here they want him gone. They're impatient too, because basic supplies are running out.
I've been waiting for 20 minutes and still there's no fuel. I just need it for my home, nothing more.
Reports from Zawiya, also in the west, reflect an increasingly desperate situation for Gaddafi. His army reportedly attempted to charge the town from two sides overnight, but suffered losses and withdrew, though not before several soldiers apparently surrendered, changing sides. The ineffectual nature of Gaddafi's military options appears to have prompted another classic siege tactic against towns like Nalut and Zawiya, blocking basic supplies to starve the town.
Yes, some sort of vegetables and things some people they came to bring and they bring them.
Evidence from the other side of the country too reinforces the suggestion that Gaddafi is not capable of much of a fight. This is AlJazeera in eastern Libya, where the army abandoned a massive ammunitions dump and left it in the hands of the opposition. Attempts by Gaddafi's air force to blow it up didn't amount to much past a hole in the ground before they were repelled.
whether it is the European Union or the Arabs or America or even Russia. We ask them to just shut down this man's airspace. We are capable of taking him out by ourselves, but we are only requesting the international community to enforce a no-fly zone.
The city of Misrata too is holding out against pro-Gaddafi forces. This video clip apparently showing a successful strike against an army helicopter. With so many places now raising the flag of opposition, what of tribal allegiances? The most likely to stay loyal are people from his hometown Sirte and his tribe, the Gaddafi. They stretch down the entire middle of Libya to its southern border, but they're a small tribe and potentially disloyal in places.
They're surrounded by many other tribes. Many of these other bigger tribes have broke ranks in terms of their alliance or allegiance with this regime. The Gaddafi, being small and being surrounded by them, will have to take into account the consequences of Gaddafi's fall, the post-Gaddafi era. And at that point, you are likely to see defections from within this tribe.
So even if the insurgency is emboldened, it's acting carefully. They now have very large numbers of tanks, heavy weapons and ammunition at their disposal, as well as people queuing in line to join a new army. At the moment, though, they say they want to reinforce their towns before moving on the capital.
We have a force that can protect Benghazi. The force may use heavy trucks to transport tanks to go to Tripoli and pass through Sirte on the way because it still supports the regime. The power we have is enough. The ammunition, supplies and fuel are also enough. We don't have a problem.
When that attack might be is perhaps the most important question. Gaddafi's latest interview with Western media added nothing to the sum of knowledge, and anyway his assertion that all of Libya loves him is in direct conflict with all the attacks mounted on rebel towns. If he won't step down or leave the country, his fates must surely rest in the hands of those closest to him or those on the other side of the country. Lawrence Lee, Al Jazeera.
Well, talking there, Tony, was about the way people feel about a possible no-fly zone. A short while ago, we heard this from Hillary Clinton, talking at the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee. She said all options were being considered.
When it comes to Libya, the United States has led the way in imposing very strict sanctions that are finding assets and preventing those assets from going to the Gaddafi family or the Gaddafi leadership. We have also, with our NATO allies and with the Pentagon, begun to look at potential planning, preparedness in the event that we feel it's necessary for both humanitarian and other reasons that there would have to be actions taken.
Let's go inside Libya. Tony Bertley is in Benghazi, that's in the east of the country. Tony, listening there to what Hillary Clinton had to say, listening to some of the people in some of the towns suggesting that a no-fly zone is needed. I want to read you something that's also come out of the hearings where Hillary Clinton was talking. This is from CENTCOM Commander, General James Mattis. He says, be under no illusions. If a no-fly zone is imposed, it would be a military operation. We would have to take out Libyan air defences. It wouldn't simply be telling people not to fly aeroplanes. Are the people there prepared for something like that?
Well, I'm not sure they're prepared.